In this video, we are going to show you how to use the Beacon Balanced Scorecard system. A balanced scorecard is designed to be a broad-based measure of school district health. Typical plans include academics, but a balanced scorecard includes all areas of district functioning, such as finance, human resources, marketing, satisfaction of parents. Really, the list is endless. And it's really designed for districts to do long-range planning and setting targets across all these areas of district functioning. When you're on the dashboard of Beacon, you can scroll down the dashboard and you'll see the balanced scorecard. If you have created the appropriate elements for the balanced scorecard, this will be populated. You will see it goes out 5 years. And in this example, year 1, 66% of our objectives are below target. 11% are approaching target and 22% are at or above target. Now, it's important to note that in the balanced scorecard, these measures need to be attached to an objective or a goal which relates to level 3 of the strategic hierarchy. And what you can see is what happens year over year with your measures on the balanced scorecard. So year 1, we were 66% below target. Year 2, we were 33. Year 3, we were down to 11. And if we go to year 5, we have all of our measures are either approaching or at target. Okay, so how do you create a measure to appear on the balanced scorecard? There are really 2 approaches to this. One would be to go to the measurement area and you would add a new measure, or you can take an existing measure, such as this one, and slide it over, and at the very end you will see the option is balanced scorecard. So you can click yes and update, and now this measure will be available to link to a goal or objective, and it will then appear on the balanced scorecard. I'm not going to do that in this case. The other approach is to create a measure when you're working on an objective. So we'll go to the plan element area, click objective, and we're going to scroll down, and I'm going to use this objective here, increase student attendance. Click the pencil to edit that, and then navigate to the Create Measurement tab, and you will see the button here to add a new measure. So let's do that. We're going to call this chronic absenteeism. And the type. And we're just going to call this an attendance rate. Again, you can add as many different titles as you want for the type. You also notice when adding a measure that the red asterisk, that indicates it's a requirement data element for you to enter. So we enter in our starting point, and we're going to say we're at 88% attendance. And our target date, we're going to make that 5 years out into the future. And we want to be at 99% for chronic absenteeism. In other words, we want 99% to be in school appropriately. We're going to assign this to all students, and we're going to select all grade levels. Now the cutoff relates to the percentage for the difference between your baseline and your target score for any given year. So if we put in 10, that means that the actual score obtained at the end of year 1, for example, is if it's greater than or within 10% but has not achieved target, it will be approaching. If it's greater than 10%, it will be below target. If it's at or above target, it will be at or below target. If the item is reverse scored, we can change that here. Now in this example, we might want to do that. So if we're talking about chronic absenteeism, we typically want that to go down lower, correct? So what we'll do is we're going to say that we currently have a 12% chronic absentee rate, and we want to drop that to 1% over 5 years. In this case, this is reverse scored. And so the categorization of at, approaching, or below target will be calculated appropriately. And now we want to add this as a balanced scorecard measure and click Save. So now we've created the measure. The next step is to assign that measure to this particular objective or goal. And you will see this is the measurement we just created, and we'll add that. And while we're at it, we're going to add in our baseline and then save. So now this objective or goal has been connected to our balanced scorecard system. So now there's a couple ways to look at the balanced scorecard report. You can go to the report tab and you can see the scorecard right here. And you will see there is our chronic absenteeism measure that we assigned. Our baseline is 12 and our target is 1, but we want to change that. And so this is not the place to change it. This is just a place to review all your scores. And so we have our measure name, which objective that measure is assigned to, the type of measurement, could be a state assessment, could be a district formative. This is an attendance rate. We've got our baseline, our target, our actual scores, and this goes out 5 years. So we can see our targets and actuals over 5 years, and these will automatically turn color, conditionally formatted for at target, approaching, or if it's red, it's more than 10% below target. There's our cutoff, 10%. Again, different measures can have different cutoffs. In this example, it's 20. And we can also see that if it's reverse scored or not. Now, to add in all of these target scores into the future, what we want to do is navigate to the Measurement tab, and you will see the Balanced Scorecard. This looks a lot like the Balanced Scorecard report, but now this is fully editable in terms of the scores. So here's our chronic absenteeism rate. We put in our baseline and our target, but actually that target we entered was for year 1, but we want to think 5 years into advance. So we want to say for the first year, we want to reduce that to 10. For the second year, we want to reduce that to 8. And for year 3, we want to reduce that to 6. And we're going to go to 3 on year 4. And then year 5, we're going to set a target at 1 accordingly. And the measurement area of the scorecard, you'll notice it automatically saves. So now we have all of our targets set. And then at the end of each year, we simply want to add our actuals. So let's say at the end of year 1, we achieved 11%, and this will turn yellow because it didn't quite reach our target of 10. Now let's say year 2, our target is 8, and we achieved 6. No, let's go another direction. Let's say 13. In that case, it turned red because we were greater than 10% of the difference between the baseline and our year 2 target. And let's say year 3, we made some great gains and we achieved 6. We reduced it to 6%. Turned green. Year 3, we hit our target again, and year 4 we did, and then year 5, we hit our target. So all of our measures turned green. The other thing we can do with the measurement area is we can kind of clean this report up. We have some options to hide and filter and sort. So if we go back to the Report tab, click on Scorecard, and let's say, for example, we want to just show our actual scores. We can go to Manage Columns, and we can turn off all of our targets and kind of minimize this report to make it nice and clean, turn off subgroups, grade levels, cutoff, reverse scoring. And now that gives me a really clean view of all the scores on this report. So that's the balanced scorecard report. Remember a couple of important things: that the measurement that you create has to be linked to a specific objective within the strategic plan.